皆さん、こんにちは. So, not too long ago, I just got my JLPT results, and I just wanted to read them off to you guys and give my opinions on the test and how it went for me. So, I took the N5 in December, and I'd have to say, I really enjoyed the experience. For the first time, I was seeing Japanese people and people speaking Japanese in front of me. They were like, "Hi, konnichiwa, minasan, konnichiwa. Ganbatte kudasai, ganbatte, ganbatte ne." And I had an opportunity to respond to that. Ganbatte. So, taking the test, the testing environment itself was maybe medium-sized classroom in the university. We had about, let's say, 20 people in our room, and then there was another set of 20 in another room, and then maybe another set of 20 in another room. I don't recall exactly how many people were there for N5, which is what I took. So actually taking the test. So yeah, there were the three sections: vocabulary, grammar, and reading. And each section had a certain time limit, I believe about an average of, let's say, 35 minutes per section. And on those sections, it was actually easier than I thought it would be. I had only studied Japanese for August, September, November, December. So it only had been 4 months by the time I got to take the test. And I wouldn't even consider it 4 months because I started at the end of August and I took the test in the beginning of December. So it was only 2 full months and then a few days after that. So going into the test, I was a little bit nervous, but I felt like I studied really hard and I got most of what I need to get done. I'm taking the test, so first section is vocabulary. I found that to be rather easy. It's just like identify the kanji, which one is correct. And then they had, like, for example, the kanji in wakaru, the hun. I'm drawing it in the air, and it's got the two radicals. It's got the katana radical on the bottom, the one that looks like that looks like that. I'm drawing it with my hand. And then they had maybe 2 or 3 other kanji there, and your goal was to pick the correct one. And there were questions like that. There were also questions like pick the right kanji. They'd have the word, let's say, it's an easy one, kyo. It was like, "Kyou wa nichiyoubi desu." And then it would be like, they have ki, small yo, and then u, and they're like, alright, here's that hiragana, now find the right kanji for it. Easy questions like that because it's the N5. So I'm like, okay, this is nothing, man. And between each section is a break that you have to take. So we have that. That first section didn't really cause me too much trouble in my head as I'm taking the test. And then next section was grammar. I believe the grammar questions were like, right, put in the word here that makes the most sense, or conjugating a verb. So like you have kuru, and then you need to make it into kimashita, or kimasen deshita, or kimasu, or konakatta desu. And you had to conjugate the verb correctly, put it in each section. You also had more like which sentence makes the most sense type of questions. And those questions usually trip me up a little bit if it was, for example, a verb I didn't know, which did happen to me a few times. There were some verbs that weren't on any of the study sheets that I was looking at. So I was completely blindsided by them. I had to guess. I don't think we'll ever get like a full result sheet that breaks down each question you got wrong, because people would just use that and just, like, I don't know, reproduce the test, and they probably don't want people reproducing their test. So we'll never see exactly which ones I got wrong, but I do have the scores with me. The scores were released somewhere in January. They promised that we'd get the scores mailed to us in February, but they did give me an online version, and anyone else who took the test and they have the information, they have the online version to use. And finally, that's what I'm looking at, is the reading section. And the reading section was pretty good. Okay, so I just realized I got this wrong. I'm looking at the wrong part of it. There's the language knowledge, which I just went over with the kanji. there was vocabulary and grammar, which was also paired together with reading, and then there's a listening section. Now the listening section, that was probably the hardest part of the test for me, because you can know how to read and you can write pretty well and you can understand written text, but when it comes to listening comprehension, you have to get the word right. And they played the audio clip one time, and you have to listen to it and comprehend it one time. They do not replay it, they don't slow it down. So if you miss something, if you were distracted, which did happen to me, like I got distracted because this is the last section and I just want to go to sleep and I just want to go back home. You have a question that is played at, this isn't even native level, it's こんにちは、今日は家族とレストランに行ってきました. And then you have a sentence like that, and it's not very fast. Trust me, that's not a fast sentence at all. If you think natives talk like that, then you're going to be so surprised when you actually get to Japan or talk to Japanese people, because they're going to be talking way faster than that. But even at that speed, under the pressure of taking a test, it was really challenging to get everything right. So obviously that was my weakest section. So I'm going to go look at the scores. So obviously, so I'm looking at the scores. It says I passed, 合格. Or maybe that's a 合格. I can't read it because it's so small. And then the scores per section. For the language knowledge, vocabulary and grammar and reading, I got 73 out of 120. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a passing score. Again, I probably got the majority of the points in the language and knowledge section and not the reading section, because with reading you have a passage and then you have to find the main idea and answer questions. With the language knowledge, it's just like, what kanji goes here, what conjugates here, what word order should you use, what's the best word, what is a synonym for this word. So you have those things, and I feel like I did better on those. And then next one is obviously the listening. I went over how I felt about the listening section. For the listening, I got 35 out of 60, which gives me a total score of 108 out of 180. So it says I got an A for vocabulary, A for grammar, and A for reading. I don't think A is the highest possible. I think S is. It goes probably like S to F. I've seen this in video games, so don't quote me if that's wrong. I'm probably wrong. I got A for vocab, A for grammar, A for reading. All in all, I'd say that the N5 is pretty easy. I've heard stories of people saying that you don't even need to take the N5. You should just skip it and go straight to the N4 level or N3 level if you're serious about Japanese. And I have to say that I probably agree with those people. I did only have about 5 months to prepare, so maybe I'm put in a special boat. But if you seriously and diligently study Japanese for an entire year, you can probably skip the N5 without any problem. Just go straight to N4 or N3 if you're feeling ambitious. Going forward from here, I don't know. I think that I can probably get like really close to passing on the N3. Like, it's a toss-up whether I'll pass by a few points or I'll fail by a few points with the N3. With the N4, I'm almost certain that I can pass that just as easily as I did with the N5. But only time will tell. I don't need to be so cocky about it. I should just study, see where I am in a few years. Once registration opens and I feel comfortable with my level of Japanese, I'll take the next level test as is appropriate. Alright, thanks everyone for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace out.